Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes. Myself, Michael BURGIO, Mark, Novak. Shocking news. The big dogs are coming to BROOKVALE, DEE, major franchises. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? What do we think?
Big dogs are coming.
We should have done romper
people are
room.
excited. People are excited about it, eh?
Yeah, I think there's always that excitement of anything new. A place does a fit out. I was just comparing it to like developments and building, but then I was like, no, actually everyone hates them when they're planning to come. They're thinking traffic, all that. So, but when it comes to businesses, everyone's generally pretty excited for new stuff to change it up. But I believe there can actually be also some resentment, because if you've noticed over the last 10, 20 years, we've gone away from previously you'd have a bread shop, veggie shop, food shop, and now it's all the big conglomerate. What's the word before I make it up? Conglomerates,
the juggernauts of industry and food. And look, I think in particular we're talking about food today.
Frida's on. Hello.
Frida, good morning. That's my mother-in-law.
Yeah, early morning or late night.
She doesn't normally get up before 10 o'clock, and she's up.
That's what I said, early morning or late night.
No, she gets up early. No, she's a hard worker. But talking about these juggernauts coming into the area, so is it good? You know, like I think you've got, you know, so for instance, if you look at Bondi Beach and you look at all those major franchises, it's almost a little, you know, a little bit sad. You see, you know, McDonald's, you see Hungry Jack's, you see all those guys, and I don't particularly think the area is better for it. And now we're seeing these monsters coming into BROOKVALE and coming into DEE. We'll talk about in a second the actual brands. But, you know, that concept, I'd love to know what people out there are thinking, if you think it's good for the area or bad for the area. Certainly, I guess it depends on your eating habits, Michael.
It is. Good morning, Lee. And it is very industry related as well, because especially if you're a bit of a unique industry but very large and you're not really taking 6 small businesses putting into one, then it can be a bit of an iconic thing. And well, take it a couple steps back. It depends on the location. So we're talking about BROOKVALE, DEE, heavily populated areas already, a lot of little shops. If we were talking about it, and you just put a big IKEA there and they put a lot of little small businesses around it, that's great. That's what you sort of want. But we're talking about a dense area with predominantly a lot of small businesses of mum and dads in the area. And then you put the big business in there, which can sometimes be take out 5 shops because they just serve the product. They buy it in bulk. They may deliver online ordering. Is it better?
Well, that's another good one. Is it crushing the good local strong operators in the area, or is it supporting it to become more of a hub for the area as well? That's a big one.
Yeah, 2 very strong arguments. Well, it's the free market and competitiveness will improve if you lose your small business because they're doing online and delivery, or maybe you should do that. So the competition argument as well works into it. And then there's the argument of, well, is it better for consumers if they're offering potentially a cheaper product, a bit different, things like that. But then there's the argument of the local economy. You can't just have, like, if you just had one big store that did everything, well, that's the theory. Would you rather one big shop? What's like a Costco that does basically everything? Would you rather Costco in the middle of DY, or do you like how it is? So I think we could run this in 20 different directions.
Yeah, and I think we've raised a lot of questions. Guys and girls, feel free to comment on what you think about this. Now, let's talk about the actual businesses that are coming into the area. Number 1, BROOKVALE, on the old
Stratfield Corner
radio site. Yeah, so sort of 100 or 50 metres from McDonald's. across from there. I think that's a Caltech servo that's on one corner. The other corner used to be Strathfield Car Radios. What was it for the last couple of years? It was another shop,
Pet
wasn't
store.
it?
Pedo. No, not Pedo. Pet stock or something.
Pet something. It's a fairly big site. It looks like there's an adjoining site that I reckon they may have taken out as well.
There was Pet Store, and it's been empty for 2 years, the other one, and it was a tile store, but the property set that back. So they're joining it 2,000 square meters and putting Hungry Jack's. Fast food, next to McDonald's, good or bad. What do you think, Mark? When you hear that, especially let's also say, because it is a valid point, and I think council would have also taken this into consideration. Those sites have been, in the last 5 years, have basically been empty for 3 years. Big corner sites going to Brookvale empty. Now, I would like to add something. The site down from that, and why I said that was the site down from that was sold. It was 3 Mitchell Road, not Taco Bell, Guzmez and that place, Gomez. They tried to accumulate the site behind it, but council would not let them because you're turning over double lines. Now, technically, Hungry Jack's will be, but they did inquire the Pittwater Road site. That's why I believe they took next door as well. So there is that sort of argument. I know they would feel wrong, but it's been empty for a long time. So before we get into good or bad, just that has merit. What do you think, Mark?
I don't understand what you're saying.
A site's been empty for 3-4 years. Would you rather Hungry Jack's there or continue not to be leased?
Oh, leased for sure. Leased for sure. And you know what? The first emotion I had about Hungry Jack's going in was a positive one. I felt like, are they going to do business? Yes. Is the area going to benefit from it? Yes. But I must admit, I didn't really consider, is it going to kill these local businesses in the area? That's a big one.
It is, because I think
going to kill cafes or restaurants.
Your audio is cutting out. Just in case people can't hear Mark, because I can't. It makes a very good point. Like you think great variety, because you actually compare Hungry Jack's to McDonald's, going great. Now I have an option. Cut in when you're back, audios, Mark. I have an option. But how many times did you go to Brookvale thinking be at McDonald's, but then saw the chicken shop on the corner, saw a fuel cafe, and well, actually that's a better choice? Will that minimize people making the decision between McDonald's and the small locals, or are they now just going to go McDonald's? Now I'm just going to go Hungry Jack's, so I normally get McDonald's. So that's where I think it comes that kill part.
And also, does it become a honeypot? So does it become a honeypot where you naturally, gradually go more into Brookvale for food solution, for a food to get fed, rather than grabbing it from home, or maybe you'll spend local more. Now, don't forget, guys and girls, these guys are putting a lot of kids in work.
Yes.
At Macca's. I think that would be a terrific place to work. So it's going to be putting a lot of jobs into the area, Michael.
It will. And I was just thinking then, when you said about going into the area, people do make a conscious effort and decision of when they say going to get food. Let's say you're going from Narrowena and DEE is just as close, or scoot down to Brookvale, but Brookvale's only got Macca's, and that sort of comes to mind. You think DEE, everything, Brookvale, Macca's. But now you may think, well, it's actually got McDonald's, Hungry Jack's, Subway. Like it may steer you to at least go down there as a bit more of a decision maker. And the jobs one's big, because to be honest, I came up through Domino's. I know a lot of buddies came up through McDonald's. We never had a Hungry Jack's. They are military on how they train the kids. Checklist, processes. It's the best work experience you can get, those companies. So more jobs of them, especially when we lost McDonald's from Manly, KFC from Manly. The big guys left Manly, so there's got to be some sort of balance. Now,
that's interesting.
Who else, Mark? Who else is coming to DY?
So, are you saying that there's no Maccas in Manly?
Correct. No McDonald's Manly, no KFC Manly. Gone.
So Guzman Gomez just nailed Maccas.
Well, two ways to look at it. Did they leave because it wasn't any good? So are you just getting a little bit more crap, or did Macca's just better food, different? So put at Macca's location and KFC, they were two crackers. But I also think maybe when they did the upgrade of the Wharf, maybe they wanted to phase out that fast food, that brand, because they did all the nice new restaurants. But different topic. What do you think about DEE?
Second major franchise coming into the area. Over to you, Burge.
Boost Juice, which is big because I know a lot of the times I've popped into the mall just to go to Boost. It's very prominent. It's almost been strange that DY, there's not, where is the other one? I think there was one in Manly, or there still is, or it's gone now. Like, Boost has only been in Westfield. So to come to DY, another good decision. But, is it a good decision or is it not? I know a lot of people love it, but there are a lot of little sort of juices in that area. So it's all pros and cons of coming there. I think, though, I reckon that definitely will be a positive.
So guys and girls out there, tell us what you're thinking. Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's good? Look, I think Boost is so it's going into the servo that's had the big refurb done on it in DY, and it's the first out of interest, guys. Ampol is back for the first time in over 20 years in history, and they've started their legacy again in DY.
Which one did they convert? 7-Eleven or Caltex?
Boost is going in.
Yeah. So I think my consensus is it's a positive, just a positive change, updating, new, especially when the area hasn't had any of it across the Northern Beaches, like the McDonald's not in Manly, it's not in Brookie, Hungry Jack's has been in Mona Vale. I view it more as a positive and change. So what's your thoughts? I like the jobs part. Now you said that, the Hungry Jacks.
Look, it's good. It's good jobs. It's great training for the kids. It's great training for people. But, you get these businesses, if you look at these businesses, and we're going to move on to the third business in a second, they're adding hundreds of jobs into the area. Are they taking away jobs from other businesses?
Well, we did a couple show. I don't think so. I think especially the age group they're looking at, 14 to 20. I think I reckon there's always kids needing to work, wanting to work. So I don't believe so. Most of them,
the risk is people are going to take their money elsewhere.
Yeah.
So if you're a tradie and you're in from Lakemba, you may end up going closer to, on the way home, you may end up going closer to home to spend your money rather than spending your money in the franchise in DY or Brookvale.
That, and the other point, I know we said the negative as well, but also the positive to have to open a business next to McDonald's, open a business next to Boost, open a business next to the servo. Like, there are a lot of people that want to be next to it. You are either selling the same product. Like, I don't always agree when people go, well, I'm selling, say, I'm a barbershop and here's a barbershop. Wherever there's Coles, there's Woolworths. Better service, free market sort of approach. So there are a lot of people, especially when they're buying commercial property, they love those tenants for one, but two, Macca's is next door, Subway's next door, Gomez is next door. That means foot traffic, that means people.
How do you say it?
I don't know. What, people, foot traffic, or Gomez and Gomez?
What is it?
Gomez. Don't know. Don't eat there. I just know it's yellow. And I know they have Slurpees, which I didn't realize were actually alcoholic. So I remember buying one of them. Thought it was just a margarita. Like,
Just to translate for you, for everyone, it's Guzman and Gomez.
Guzman. What was I saying?
Guzman
Gomez.
and Gomez.
Yeah.
Owned by the lovely Stevie Marks. Good man.
Yeah. So I reckon that's a positive. More foot traffic means people will stop at the pharmacy, stop at the bread shop, stop at the shoe shop. If you can get people from their house attracted by the big brands and they're walking, seeing other businesses, that's got to have a really big effect.
All right, before we sign out, who's coming into DEE? Can you tell us?
You already did. Ampol. Hungry Jack's, Ampol.
Oh, you got another one.
Which one?
You've got a secret one. You've got a secret big deal. Big secret,
yes.
Big deal. Can you discuss it?
And I didn't. Yeah, I suppose because the strata that know, and so I Taco Bell. So I wasn't mispronouncing the other one as an insult. I just generally don't know. Taco Bell is also coming to DY, which is big, great location. They're on a massive rollout, 30, 40 stores they're looking to open. So they're just going through the process of councils and DAs and stratas at the moment, but they've secured a site, which is big once again. And this has been a property that's been empty for a year and a half. So when people say the big guys will take away from the small little baker, a year and a half it's been empty. And that's worse for an area, in my opinion.
It doesn't resonate a good feel. It's a bit like having a nice suit and walking around with your fly undone. Having a vacant shop is just not a good taste in the community's mouth.
Yeah. Alrighty, I think that's a wrap.
Hey, it's a wrap, guys. Keep an eye out. I think so. What's the verdict? What are we saying? These big franchises coming to town. I guess we've gone through the pros and we've gone through all of the pros and all of the cons. Leaving off, what do you think, Burge? Good thing, bad thing?
Good thing.
Love to know what everyone out there is thinking on that as well. I personally think good thing on the back of jobs. I like the job side of things.
Perfect. And they renovate a lot of the buildings they're going in. They do big fit out.
They keep the standard high. They keep the standard the area clean, security, all that stuff. And yeah, it's good. Attract more business.
More business. Alrighty, guys. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow morning.
Cheers, man. Bye.